it says we are live on YouTube. Let's
what up?
Whoop, whoop. View the stream on YouTube. Okay. I'm at the channel. I'm pulling up the chat.
Now that
automatically muted. Let's see where we're at here. We are live, coming to you from an undisclosed location underneath the offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. What's going on? Joanna, Washington County News Station, Utah. Fallen Angel, Brandy, Karen Croucher. 13 people in here, guys. Share this out.
That's Crochetter.
Is it Crochetter?
I would think so.
I'm terrible with names, so if I butcher a name, it's a conspiracy.
No, if you don't butcher it, it's a conspiracy.
That's true. That is very, very true. So we're going to do something a little out of the ordinary tonight because Lou Rock just dropped a bombshell video just a little while ago. It's already past 1K views. It's only been an hour. This thing is going viral, Lou. I'm telling you, it's huge. It's going viral.
It'll be cool.
That would be cool.
It would be.
And you still got what? How many more parts to do? 2 more parts?
At least 1, but I think it's going to be 2 more parts. But wait, this video, I mean, it gets people familiarized with what's going on, but wait until they see what actually happens. It's amazing. And it just, I don't want to give it away because, for one, there's no clickbait. I am not trying to hype it up. I am not trying to be overzealous. The things that happen in the next video are just out of this world.
Insane is all I can say. I have a little bit of insight as to what is going to be coming out in the next video. But guys, you are not going to believe what's coming next. Craziness. Just craziness.
This is, I wouldn't be surprised if you see your boy Lou Rock pretty soon on some kind of news media.
I was just going to say news or,
it's coming.
A documentary about the story.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And a shout out to you, man. You made that video. You made the feel of the video. You made everything happen. And I'm just grateful, dude, because
I'm just grateful to be a part of, of it, Lou.
Well,
honestly.
You got a credit in the video. Your link is in the description of the video. As you see, your name's at the end of the video. But
yeah, it was awesome. It turned out great.
Yeah, it came out.
You were spot on when I finished talking about, like when we was talking about using the spirit box, you were spot on. Bam, transition right into it. Had the effect going with the black and white there and that. Spot on, dude. It was great. But now with the conspiracy show tonight, we wanted to talk a little bit about the video. We want to talk a little bit about the Tammy Lynn's case a little bit. And there is some conspiracy around this case, right?
Oh, there's lots of conspiracy around this case. Lots. And just in so many different aspects. I mean,
So to give them a little bit of background story, why don't you just kind of try to simplify the basis of the story
all right.
from the beginning real quick.
All right. So my involvement with Tammy Lynn's started the very first day I got my spirit box. The very first day I got my spirit box, I have a video on this. I say, hey, let's go and test this thing out. Oh, let me turn my camera on real quick. Oh, hold on. Choose virtue. Boom. All right, we're back. All right, I'm here. All right. So, all right, I'm ready. So, the way I got involved with this story is, for one, I knew nothing about it. All right, nothing at all.
Well, you were a kid when it actually happened. Do you remember that?
No,
You don't remember it happening as a kid? And
nope. I was 10 years old. I didn't know her. I didn't. I never seen it on the news. I never had any knowledge of it until, in fact, I didn't even have knowledge of it the day I did my first spirit box session. It was a test, and I go out on my back porch and I start running the box, and my son comes outside, and I didn't want him there. And he starts talking, and the box starts talking right back to him. And he's like, well, how old are you? And it says 14. And then he's like, well, how old am I? And it says 11. And then it proceeds to say her name. It says they picked me up. I got in a car. You know what? When I first started hearing her, I thought that maybe she was somebody that got hit by a car, because people are always flying up and down the roads here. That was my first feeling. She got hit by a car out here. So a month later, I'm going to shoot a video at a location 45 minutes away, and I get a phone call from my Aunt Donna. And I start, of course, promoting my YouTube channel to my aunt. And I'm like, listen, you got to see the videos I've been doing. The stuff with the spirit box thing. It's amazing. And I tell her where I'm going. And she's like, well, why are you going all the way up there? Why don't you go to where that girl was found 20-something years ago, over near my grandfather's old house? And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, what's that about? And she tells me, they found a little girl on Fox Road years ago. It was a big thing, and maybe I should go check that out. So I said, you know what? It's right around the corner. It's not 45 minutes away. It's a lot less than 45 minutes away. And so I'm like, I'll go check it out. So I go there completely blind. I know nothing. I don't even barely know her name. And the very first video, I say, can you tell us where you were found? And we're walking up, and it says here. And some of the most craziest things that have ever happened to me in an investigation happened. My EMF meter, I've never seen it bounce the way that it was in this video. I mean, it was literally going crazy. And it was happening right next to this tree. Now, I didn't realize till later that this tree had spray paint on it, and it says Autobots on the tree. So I had done a few videos there, and then I was actually contacted by my cousin, who
by this time you had already researched the story and found out what
a little bit. No. Actually, no. The way I found out about it was I came home the first night, and my mom is like, you don't remember, do you? And I'm like, what are you talking about, Ma? And she's like, you don't remember the first time you put the box on? I'm like, yeah, what about it? What was the name? I got the video. Let me go check it out. And I go check it out, and sure as hell, it was Tammy and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, she contacted me a month before I even knew I was going to go there. And then we started doing investigations. We started getting into the information, the news cases, the
vlogs, the diary. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything.
And, to kind of touch on that story. This was a 16-year-old female who left the house 3 a.m., went off to meet someone. We're not for sure who yet. Ended up disappearing, and 4 months later, they found her body.
She was actually younger than that. She was 15.
15.
And she had just turned 15. But yeah. So it's getting crazier by the minute, and I get a phone call from a family member of mine who was very upset. He's like, of all people, why would you choose to do a video on this person? Like, why does it matter to you? Like, what's the big deal? And he explains to me that when he was 12 years old, Tammy was his first girlfriend, and they didn't do anything but hold hands and talk for like a week, he said. But the way he explained it to me was that, she was the nerdy kid who was really nice to the fat kid. And of course he was calling himself the fat kid. But the way he talked about her was good memories. She must have been really nice to him, and I could tell that it hurt him having these memories brought back up. So after he basically, at first he goes, "You don't remember?" And I'm like, "Don't remember what, dude?" And he's like, "You don't remember I told you my girlfriend got murdered?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I don't. No, you didn't tell me that." So then he realized that my memory's crap, and I'm legitimately not trying to hurt him. And so we start talking, and I tell him that I was on the opposite side of the road down there, and it told me to look here. And he goes, "Oh my God, come pick me up right now." And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about? What? He's like, "Come pick me up right now. I know what look here is. I know where it is. Come get me. We're going there right now." So without knowing anything, I pick him up. We go over there, and he starts telling me, "We got to look in this area. It's over here, but watch out. You might fall into it." And I don't even know what he's talking about. But I guess when he was younger, one of his friends would take him down there while they were skipping school to smoke cigarettes and look at porno mags, things that, kids do. And that's when we first found the pit. And ever since finding that pit, it's been like one thing after another unfolds, and then another mystery is unraveled, but then another one starts, and it's been very taxing on me. For the first 2 weeks that I was involved with her case, I was completely obsessed.
I would love to get over there and go to the pit and actually do like a scientific excavation of the pit where you dig it up and sift the dirt to see what you find in the dirt.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Things like that. Do an actual scientific, like excavation of the pit and the area around it. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So there's lots of theories that have gone around the neighborhood, a few anonymous notes that have been passed around the neighborhood. I could say that there's been a lot more found out than I've actually been able to talk about on my channel, being that I don't want to endanger the case by giving out any info that shouldn't be given out, or
some of the theories and some of the conspiracy theories behind this case. I mean, we've heard rumors, and again, these are just rumors. These are not facts by any means. Or
well, hold on, before you say the rumor thing. This is a fact. This is a fact. The first day I found the pit, I was with my cousin. He's a burly guy. He's kind of like Ghost Mafia size. He's a little bit shorter than Ghost Mafia, but same build. So we're coming out of the hole now. My cousin, his mind is blown. He don't believe in spirit boxes or ghosts or anything, but he just witnessed all this stuff happening. He listened to the spirit box himself. Actually, we're doing a spirit box session, and through the spirit box, we're in my truck, and it says car. And he's like, yo, it just said car. And I'm like, yeah, I know it said car. And then 2 seconds later, I'm being flagged down by a white Dodge Charger with a black male in the front seat. The guy pulls in front of my car and basically blocks me in. And he starts screaming out the window, what the are you doing videotaping over here? Now, my cousin, he's a bigger guy, and he's like, none of your effing business, and who are you running your mouth at like that? So then the guy identifies himself as a police officer. He says, whoa, buddy, before you go getting all tough with me, I'm a police officer. And so my cousin says, listen, man, you came at us, very aggressive. You're not going to do that to me and my cousin. But yeah, we'd like to talk to you because we just found something really, really crazy. And we think it might help find answers in a cold case. So that gentleman jumps on the telephone and he says that he's talking to a detective named Rivera, and he's talking to this guy on the phone, and he's telling me that this detective is going to contact me later in the week. So after leaving there, I searched that neighborhood, because what happened is after 2 or 3 days, the guy never contacted me. I called bullshit. For one, if you are a police officer, why haven't you contacted me? And if you're not a police officer, what the hell are you doing pulling people over?
Right.
So I searched that entire neighborhood for that car to see if there was somebody, like if he lived in that neighborhood. That car is not over there. I drove over there for weeks. I went through every road, everywhere over in that neighborhood. Could not find that car. So that's one person that identified themselves as a police officer. Then I actually ran into another situation similar to that, where I ran into so-called police officers. There was 2 of them. They looked a little bit more official than the first guy, who's just a plain dressed guy in a Dodge Charger. But it seems very fishy. Yeah. I didn't know to ask them at the time for their identification. I'm not used to dealing with the police on a regular basis, so I didn't know to say, all right, give me your identification. Usually it's the other way around. They ask you for your identification.
Well, let's see what the chat think. You guys out there in the chat, do you think this was a police officer that actually pulled him over? Or do you think it was somebody that might have been involved in the disappearance of Tammy Lands?
I think it was someone involved.
It was weird.
Did he provide a badge?
No badge.
Badge number?
No badge number, no nothing. I didn't ask for it. The demeanor he had was authoritative, aggressive demeanor. And so we were kind of standoffish. Me, and
everybody's saying no, not a police officer, somebody involved. That's the general consensus of the chat right now.
Even if he's a detective and he's plain clothed, he has to carry that badge on him. And if he's presenting himself as a cop.
All right. Now here's the deal. I just told this so-called police officer that I found bones in a hole in the woods where a little girl was murdered and found years ago. I found bones. If he was a police officer, I should have been flipped upside down.
Oh yeah, you would have been detained right then and there.
Yes.
And then the scene cordoned off.
The bones taken.
Taped.
He would have told you to give him, like, take him to the actual location, and then he would investigate.
Yep.
And then he would have detained you for questioning.
Yeah.
What did you see? What did you touch? Did you disturb anything? Did you leave it alone? You know, they're gonna question you before they ever let you go.
Yeah.
All right. So here's another mysterious thing that has to do with the cops. So 4 to 5 days goes by. This detective, I left him my phone number, everything, my name, all that, which was stupid. I left him all my information. I never get contacted back. So I go down to the Springfield Police Department and I walk into the front office and I go up to the window and I asked, who do I talk to about a cold case that I may have new information for the case? They didn't even bother to have a police officer talk to me at the police station. The guy gave me a phone number and told me to call the phone number. So I leave the police station, call the phone number, leave a message. Hi, my name is this, and this. Here's my phone number. I found something. I think you guys will be interested in it. Please contact me back. I didn't say anything about I do paranormal videos. I'm a YouTuber. I didn't say none of that. I just said, I found some stuff. Here's my name. Here's my phone number. Please contact me. Now, since that's the number to the cold case department, don't you think they would have contacted me?
You would have thought.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever find out, was there a Detective Rivera?
No,
at the police department?
I never found out if, according to the family, because I'm now in contact with the family, there is no Rivera. I have all the other names of the police officers that were around back then and part of the case. There was not one named Rivera.
Now, is it possible that a guy named Rivera has taken over the cold cases?
Well, that's what the guy said, is that the guy Rivera was a current detective. This was 3 years ago now, because that's when I first got involved with her case. But he said, when he got on the phone, he said, I'm contacting Officer Rivera, so-and-so. And he was talking to somebody on the telephone. He was actually talking to the guy, telling him about the bones, telling him about all this stuff that I just said. Now, I kind of noticed when he was talking to the guy on the phone, he was in amazement himself. And he was telling the guy the story. And then he tells me that this guy will be getting in touch with me in the next few days. Nothing. Not even a phone call, not a hi, not a nothing. Zero. So
Almost sounds like he gave the information to someone else who might have been involved in it.
Right.
You know what my first theory is? This isn't the best neighborhood. Now, this case was, at that time, it was 23 years before. So I'm not thinking that somebody that was involved might still be in the neighborhood. Not saying that it's not possible. But my first theory about what that guy was is I kind of had like an inkling that he was like a drug dealer, and he's seen us over there filming, and then he was probably, but if he was a drug dealer, do you think a drug dealer would have the balls to pull somebody over and identify themselves as a police officer?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a lot of balls. Usually drug dealers stay on the low key. They, if they see somebody going by with a camera, they're going to think they're the police. Usually they're going to think that that's the police, not go and pull them over. And he was in a white Dodge Charger. That's a car used by police. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't seem to add up.
Now, here's a question for you, okay? Up here, we have like the white Dodge Chargers, but they have ghost writing on them. They can't have just a plain vehicle. It has to have ghost writing, where it's like you turn a certain way in the light and you can see that it says such and such police department.
Yep.
Now, did that car have that on it?
No, nothing.
Then I don't think he was a
See
cop.
around here, plain unmarked police vehicles. You can always tell the unmarked police vehicles because they all have the steel wheels with the center cap, no actual hubcap. It's all steel rims with the little center cap. Yeah, I mean, there's no, and usually you can see the lights up in the top of the windshield where they tried to hide them.
Here it's a little bit different.
Or in the grill, mounted into the grill.
If you see a cop that's in, because there's cop cars that are regular, they look like civilian cars. Mm-hmm. No markings, nothing on them. Usually the only thing you can see is a small antenna in the back.
Yeah.
And those cars are only given to detectives, high-ranking detectives.
Yeah.
They're not patrolmen out in unmarked cars. So if it's an unmarked car and it's a legitimate cop, it would have to be a detective.
Yeah.
And that would be either homicide or I'm thinking narcotics.
Yeah, drug unit.
And there's a lot of that here.
But did he at least have the antenna on his car?
He had the car pulled straight onto us and I didn't notice an antenna. So no, I can't say for sure. Another thing is it probably would have been smart to look at the rims of the car, but you know what? I think I would have noticed if they were the ones with the cap in the middle and if they looked like cop rims. This car didn't look like a cop car. It looked like a white Charger. That's it. It looked like a stock white Charger.
See down here, even completely unmarked cars where you can't see the lights or anything, and they'll have the windows blacked out so you can't see in them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one giveaway is always the license plate.
Yep.
Because they'll have PD next to the number.
Yeah, and usually ours are, they don't say PD on them, but they say state official. It'll say a state official on them.
Or they'll have county plates, like CO number and things like that. But that's the one giveaway, even if it's a fully unmarked vehicle. And usually if it's a police officer's off-duty personal vehicle, he'll have personalized plates.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know the chief of police of the next town over, and his personal vehicle looks like an unmarked cop car, but it's only his personal vehicle. So it's kind of a weird area, and that's the chief of police. So
that beeping.
That's my phone.
Okay.
My phone's vibrating.
Vibrating or something.
Listen, I gotta go to the little girl's room real quick. I'll be right back.
So what do you think about all this, JoJo? I mean,
I honestly think that it's not a cop. I honestly think it's someone who has their hands involved in that case and has been watching Lou's channel, because I know that there's been speculation about someone keeping an eye on his channel basically when it comes to this case.
Well, and then there's the rumors that we started to talk about earlier that, one of the people that was involved with the disappearance had relatives in the police department that they may have gone to help cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a big conspiracy right there in itself, and then, it adds to the credibility to the conspiracy when, they've let this cold case drag on for 25 years with no leads, and it just not going anywhere. So that also helps to lend credence to the conspiracy that, you know, maybe the police may have been involved.
Now, here's my question, though. What do they gain out of hiding it? Like, I mean, if it had been an accident, okay, because again, it's speculation because nobody knows what happened, right?
Right. Nobody knows.
If it had been an accident, why not just come forward? Like, why drag it out? Because when you drag it, like, I don't know about down there, but up here, when you drag something out like this, you get more time. When they finally do, whether it was an accident or not, they're going to give you more time because you lied. Okay? If you just tell them straight off the hop, look, it was an accident, this is what happened, chances are they're going to let you off because you didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why not just...
Well, look how many old, okay, Jack the Ripper, never solved. It's still not solved to this day. They've got ideas, but, you know, there's still conspiracies about, you know, it could have been, what's the guy that wrote Sherlock Holmes? Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yes.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, like Jack the Ripper, they called him Leather Apron. In a Chicago museum right now is the Mason's apron that Arthur Conan Doyle would wear out in public. And there's actually like specks of blood on it. Mm-hmm. That they can't explain where this blood came from. You know what I mean? So there's like speculation that Conan Doyle could have been Jack the Ripper.
Which would make sense because when you look at murderers and that, a lot of them, they're not dumb people, first of all. And a lot of them leave clues about them doing it. And that would have been the perfect way to hide it. Yeah,
and we're talking, this is almost 200 years ago now, Jack the Ripper case. Well, it's over 100 years. Well over 100 years now. But the Zodiac murders out in Vallejo, California, you know, never caught the guy. The guy was writing ciphers and everything else and threatening to pick off children as they got off school buses and everything else. Never caught the guy. By now, the guy is probably long since dead from cancer or something. You know, he's too old to be a threat on society, I guess I should say. But you know, it's one of those things that once it goes cold for so long, you know, the people involved, they don't stop aging. You know what I mean? They get older and older and older. Before you know it, you know.
I honestly just think that, as weird as this sounds, I think that so many people are keeping tabs on Lou. Honestly, even without him knowing.
You know what, Jojo? That well, now with me knowing as well.
Yeah.
But the more things we find out about this case, Lou, the farther it's going along, and the more detail we're getting with the story, and you know, we have our own theories on it, but we're not going to put them out there publicly because we don't want to, you know, put ideas in people's heads. We want this thing to come to a close naturally through actual police investigation and, you know, forensic science. But I mean, from everything that we've gotten through the paranormal field and the spirit box and things like that, you know, like we're getting more and more detail every time we do like a spirit box session or, you know, do more investigation into it, go out to the woods, look around, you know, the area where it happened. You find more things. You're finding carvings on trees in this last video.
Yeah. I mean, or what about the other shelter with a kid's blanket and all of the like, there was a pickle jar with a fork.
I think that was somebody camping out. I don't think that's been there 25 years though.
All right, but they're camping out. What are they doing with a princess sleeping bag?
Well, okay. So Lou, you're homeless. Okay. You're living off the streets. You go to the local, with the Goodwill store. After hours, everybody drops shit off at the back of the Goodwill store.
Dude, it's 4.5 feet long. It's not even big enough for an adult.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're homeless, you're going to take any blanket you can get.
Yeah.
And if they're putting it out there for donation at the Goodwill and you just happen upon it in the middle of the night.
We did find 3 blankets.
Yeah. I mean, homeless people do things like that all the time. They might not even been using that blanket as a blanket. They might have been trying to cover the shelter up just to keep out of the wind and the rain.
Actually, a couple of the blankets were on the shelter as a cover.
Yeah. So, I mean, homeless people do things like that all the time, and they'll take anything they can get. It doesn't, they're not going to be selective. They aren't going to care if it's a My Pretty Pony, children's.
If it means surviving, you take it.
Right. Yeah. Right. If it's a matter of survival, we
found a full bottle of Sun-Kissed soda, orange soda, not even opened. We found a bottle full of urine.
And again, and this is one of those things, and I do dumpster diving videos. I've been dumpster diving before. I have, you hit up a Dollar Tree. They will throw out, if the coolers break down, they'll throw out pickles and olives and Sunny D, like all those items.
Oh, Sunny D.
All those items you can find in a dollar store dumpster every once in a while.
Here's the thing about Sunny D. Sunny D was produced by the Sundor Company, which is in Chicopee, Massachusetts, which is the next town over. And Sunny D actually went out of business for a while until they were sold to somebody else who started producing it.
Yeah, but nowadays you can a mile down the road, I got a Dollar General here. I've even dumpster dove that particular store. I've gotten we got garbage bags filled with the Amway cookies, the ginger snaps and things like that, and all just bags full of cookies that weren't even out of date yet, but because they had new packaging, they will throw the old away because it's cheaper to write them off than it is to ship them back. And they will throw that stuff out in the dumpster. Boxes of cereal. I mean, hell, the one time we got 30 boxes of Captain Crunch because they was going to a holiday packaging. And they just put it all in a black trash bag, sealed it up, and threw it in the dumpster. We got 100 pounds of peanut M&Ms from a CVS store because they were going from their Halloween packaging to their holiday packaging. And chocolate has a long shelf life. Okay? Yeah. So none of it was out of date. It was all, it was just the leftover stuff from Halloween that they still had in the store that they didn't sell. And they had to make room for the Christmas decorated, candies and things like that to get them in there. So, I mean, homeless people, they take advantage of that. They do dumpster dive. They do hit up the Goodwill stores after hours and go through the donation bins and things like that. So it's not uncommon to find that out in the woods where a homeless person's been squatting.
Yeah, it's even like that here. It's the same thing.
It's they'll use whatever they can find to survive the elements.
Like I said, Sunny D was sold to Sundor Brands in 1989. And the reason I know that is because my brother's father worked for Sundor, and we used to get a bunch of Sunny D for free. But then that business got bought out, and they started making it elsewhere. So Sunny D is an old product that has history in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. And you know what screams homeless is the urine bottle. Because usually a kid will just go off and go pee. But if you're inside a shelter, you're trying to stay warm, and you don't want your shelter smelling like pee, you're going to pee in a bottle.
Well, not only that, you're going to pee in that bottle, and that bottle's going to be 98 degrees.
Yep.
And then you can put that down in your sleeping bag, and that'll help keep you warm for a few hours.
Yep.
So it's a survival thing. They will actually teach you some of that stuff if you take the survival courses.
Yep.
You want to stay warm out in the elements as long as possible,
I can't wait to share what we find in the next video. I know people are just going to be like, what?
But yeah, guys, check out Lou Rock's latest video. Just premiered like an hour ago. How many views is this at now already, Lou?
Oh, hold on. It's just rounding out to 1,000 views.
Nice.
I need to plug this in somewhere.
Colleen Paranormal says, I was homeless. Honey Bub says, it was a great video.
Thank you.
Lou, I saw your newest video, Stephanie Ferrante. Benny Loco says, do it now.
Pat, I wish.
He says, being homeless is no fun. No, it's not.
So,
me too, Francis, years ago. When is that next video coming out? Rasmeen Morgan wants to know.
I'm going to try my best to get it out in the next 2 days.
Woo.
Yeah, woo is right. After doing the last one.
It's taken you almost 2 weeks to get the last one all edited into place.
It was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks.
I don't know how you're going to do the next one in 2 days, but
I'm going to bust my ass.
Some voiceover stuff to do on it. I know you got some editing to do on it. I know you got some EVPs on there.
It's going to be tough, but I'm going to try my best. It's going to be
crazy. Crazy.
Ghost Mafia is going to be like, Lou Rock, leave me alone.
No, we're good. We're good.
Like I thought,
it's a pleasure to be a part of it, you know, and to help out. I love helping out with this case. It's really drawn me in since the first time, like when you did the first videos, and I watched those videos, and then you kind of got me and JoJo involved in it, and we've been bouncing ideas back and forth for a couple of months now, and analyzing things and giving you kind of different perspectives on it. And you know, it's a pleasure to be involved, and I'm hoping that Allison and her family is able to get closure with this, and prayers go out to Allison and her family.
I actually got to meet Allison and Tammy's mother. That was an honor. What a beautiful person. And
I seen Allison was in the chat earlier.
Yeah, she was.
She was in the chat earlier for that video. So,
and you know what? When I first started this case, I had asked the spirit box. I said, do you want me to contact your family? And it clearly said, no, not yet. And then it said, my friend, and then it said the name Tara. Well, Tara was her next door neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing would lead to another thing and another thing. And the stuff that's coming through the spirit box is leading me in the right direction. So when people try to say, oh, well, spirit box it's a bunch of phooey and it's just random noises that come out of, I'll tell you what, bullshit. I bet I've seen it proven to my own eyes, my own ears. I've just seen some amazing stuff in the last 3 years. And I don't claim to be like some paranormal investigator. I kind of got pulled into this. And it's just been amazing. It's been like the last 3 years of my life feel like a movie playing out. Literally feel like a movie playing itself out.
Guys, I can tell you, I've been on numerous calls in the last few days with Lou Rock, and he's like, I don't know, man. I'm afraid that nobody's going to like this video, and it's so much different than anything else I've ever done. And you know, and I told him, I said, you're just being self-conscious about it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And guys, you have made this a success, and definitely share it out. I loved it, Lou. I think it was television worthy. Like I could put that up on a PBS special right now, and they wouldn't have to change anything about it. It was that good.
We watched it on our TV, and it actually looked like a TV show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was really well done.
You know, I started out the video.
I'm going to say, I know you want to get it done in 2 days, but put the same effort and quality into the next episode and take your time with it and make it just as good.
Well, the thing is do it for yourself, but do it for her. We know how hard you've been working on the case, and I know that you want it to be perfect for her.
Yeah, well, if you go back and you look at my very first video that I ever did on her case, which was my first exploration, if you go back and you look at that video, even though it's not the best quality, you can see how much work I put into it. I wanted to, right from the start, I wanted to give her what she deserves, which is a legit video. And I've always taken her videos about her a little bit more, not seriously, but I've taken them to another level where I put a lot more work into them, a lot more research, a lot more. I put my heart and soul into every video that I've done for Tammy.
Well, it's because you're close to the case. And you know what? You were talking about how it told you not yet, leading you in the direction. Because if you had taken that to her family the very first time she contacted you, they would have thought you were nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was waiting, and it was like, okay, she knew that they would eventually find you.
You know what? I got to a point where my view on that was I don't want to I actually was kind of scared when I first was contacted by the family. Reason being was I didn't want to bother them until I had something to give them, something tangible, not a spirit box session, not, you know,
Mudcon with a $2 super chat. I don't know what to think. Lou being so clear.
So yeah, I didn't want to contact them. I wanted to wait until I had something to say. Here, I found this here. But I think it happened just in the perfect time. Also, since we've met, well, you guys will see in the next video, it has been.
I honestly think Tammy wanted you to take them to that spot for that reason.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I can't say anything. You guys will just have to watch.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's 100% for sure.
Like I said, I know that you're wanting to get this next video out in 2 days. But take your time with it.
Well, hold on though. Here's what took me so long with that video. It wasn't just the editing. What it was is I had about an hour and a half worth of footage. I had about 35 minutes worth of EVPs. If you've ever edited EVPs, you know it takes forever to edit EVPs.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in a place where I didn't want to make a video that was an hour and 15 minutes long. So I was trying to cut so much stuff out of it. And then got to a point where I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm losing a lot by doing that. Why don't I? It was actually Ghost Mafia's idea. He was like, listen, why don't you just make it into a 2-part series? But when we decided that, we didn't know what was going to happen in the next day or two. So those events are gonna definitely make the I know a lot of people are just thinking, he's just hyping it up. It's just talk. You know what? The video will speak for itself.
Yeah, it does.
That's all I got to say.
It really does.
But yeah, and then, dude, there's anonymous notes. There's an anonymous note that was passed around back then that was from an anonymous girl who said that she was there with other males and that she was murdered and she witnessed it. I'm not going to go into details, but that was the gist of the anonymous note.
Wow.
Now, is this note still around today?
Yes, this
Anybody
note.
kept it?
Yes, the note is around. The note is. The family was very diligent, very smart, and very resourceful, and they have done better detective work, I would say, than the actual police department.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, it's a family member. If it was your kid, you'd do what
I'd do exactly what her mother did and her father, when what they did is actually scour the streets up and down, asking everybody anything they could to get answers. And they kept notes on everything, and they did it very smart. And in fact, if this case ever does get solved, I think the work that they did is going to be what leads to that being solved. Definitely.
To be honest with you, I think between them and the stuff that you're doing is what's going to solve it.
Well, it all meets together. It all meets together. Because without the stuff that they did, I would have never known the stuff that I did to find out the stuff that we found out. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
it's going to be
honestly,
a combination of both.
I think you're the ribbon that is holding the whole case together right now. You're bringing the suspects and the family and the investigators closer to each other, because there's been a lack of communication between everybody involved in this case, and you keeping it going and them talking to you and the parents talking to you and all that stuff is definitely going to bring the case closer together to where it can be solved.
Now, I do have a question. I was watching the premiere tonight, and one part of the session when you're using the box, it says 3 months.
yes.
Okay. Now, do you ever think that it means in 3 months this will be solved?
That's what Alyssa Parrish said in the chat. That's what Alyssa Parrish said in the chat. And I hope that that is the case. But also, we were actually talking about this with the family, me and my mom. And I brought it up. I said, well, what's 3 months mean? It was 3 months. My Mama Rock has the exact amount of time. It was like 3 months, 3 weeks, and a day that she was found from the day she went missing. Also, it was speculated that she could have been pregnant, but that's unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed. Okay.
Yeah. So there could be several meanings behind the 3 months, but I'm hoping, I'm going with you know what? I kind of do get that feeling that it's going to come to a close really soon. It's gonna.
I mean, after all this time, 3 months would be an amazing time for it to just.
Oh yeah. Yep, for sure. And then for it to have a quarter century has gone by, guys. And here's another thing for the conspiracy part of it. Every time that they do a special on children that went missing in this area of Western Massachusetts, they even mention names of cases that have been solved before they mention Tammy's case. It hasn't been mentioned since it was 19 years after she had disappeared. They did a story on 22 News, and it was like a recap. They went and they talked to the father, and they revisited it 19 years later, but it's never mentioned. It's never talked about. There's never any pictures with her name and leading to information. Nothing. There's no effort put into trying to find out what happened to that poor girl. None whatsoever. Zero. And that's why it's important. Allison, in the video, I told her, I said, listen, no matter what, I'll never give up on this case.
And that again, that lends credence to the theory that there might have been a police cover-up involved.
Oh, I'm really thinking that that is very possible. Very possible that 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 could be true for sure.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, when it all comes down to it, I can't wait until it is over and everybody can look at everything. And everybody can look at all the stuff that I've been doing for the last 2.5 years, all the stuff I haven't been able to share. I mean, I had one video, guys, that I held on to for 1.5 years, and then I still didn't share the video. I still haven't shared it. But what happened is I noticed the shadow thing. It flew over to the tree where the word Autobots is spray painted. And it seems like a lot of stuff is trying to point that tree out to me. And so the shadow flies over to that tree. It kind of wiggles, and then it zooms over to the exact spot where she was found. Kind of like, hey, look here, look here.
I think there's more with those carvings from this last video you just dropped.
Yeah.
I think those carvings should be investigated more, because those look like they could be around from the time of the death. I mean, the trees,
because they're so stretched out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's more with the carvings.
Well, those carvings could have been an inch big, but because it's been 25 years, now the thing's 2.5 feet long. Like you see a big giant E in a tree. It's because the tree grew.
Right.
So yeah, I think that you're onto something there. Yeah. I you know what, you're right. It might take me a little bit more than 2 days, but I'm gonna try my best.
I think you need to go out there and see if you can't make out what some of those markings on the trees are, whether you got a piece of paper and you're writing it down, and like draw the tree and then write it on it, and map out in the location on a piece of paper where that tree is and adjacent to the pit or where the body was found, or
Yep.
I think there might be some significance there to some of those carvings in the tree.
Definitely. And then right above the hole is a U, just one letter U. What the hell is that? Like U. It's like they're leaving little clues here and there. Like,
well, was there possibly more letters in the tree? Could there have been like I and a heart, or
maybe? I don't know. It's pretty clear. If you look at the picture in the video, I get a close up of it. It's just pretty clear, just a U and nothing else really on the tree. It could have other things that we missed out on, but I don't know.
Blue Rock, after you point out Eric, other name looks like Sean.
Looks like Sean to them.
Yeah. That was from no one.
I actually thought that because the kid points out that he thinks it's spelled Tom, Tom, and I actually looked at it and thought about if you're carving an A, they might have made it look square on it, like because they're carving it, and it could have said Tammy.
That could have been too.
Because I thought the M looks like a W, or anyways, I thought it looked like Tammy. There was another one that they thought it looked like Jaw, but I actually, when I re-looked at it, it looks like S-U-N. It looks like it says sun, which is weird. But yeah, there's more to come, and
excuse me,
it's nothing short than like jaw-dropping, shocking, crazy. I can't wait.
Ralph says, what are all the letters on the trees?
We found a U. There's a definite E, but below the E, there's other carvings, but they look like either somebody peeled at them or they were messed up somehow, so you can't see full carvings there, but it's definitely E at the top there. And then there's the one that Allison's daughter's boyfriend points out. He said it looked like Tom. I thought that might have been Tammy. And then there's one that it actually looks like it says SUN, but it's a guessing game. It could say anything. The trees could have grown over 25 years. I mean, if one of those carvings started out at an inch big 25 years ago and they've expanded, some of those letters could have just got bark that grew over them. And so, yeah, that's probably, they probably have been distorted over time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking a course of 25 years. You look at the carpet that you guys found in that video at the pit when you first found it, and you try to lift it up and it just deteriorates in your hand. After 25 years out there in the elements, 25 winters, 25 years of rain and snow. And
now, if you watch the end of that video, I show the very beginning where I first found the hole with my cousin.
I found it.
I found it. And then there's an EVP that says, there's the spot. But you can't really hear it in that video because I put music on it. But if you go watch the original, there's a clear voice that says, there's the spot. And that was crazy. I found bones there, wrapped in the carpet. It's pretty.
Now, that was the same hole as in the premiere tonight, right?
Yes.
So where did the carpet go?
The carpet's there. It's just got moss and stuff on it, and it just looks like part of the ground.
I was gonna say, because in the video tonight, it almost looked like that carpet had been ripped up.
And well, I did pull it up myself in a couple spots where I found the bones and whatnot.
No, but I mean, all of it looked like it was pretty much gone.
No, it was buried.
I still think you need to go back to the pit with some like 2x4s framed into a square, tack on some chicken wire on the bottom, and start shoveling.
Yeah.
And sifting through that dirt. Because I think you're going to be amazed at all kinds of stuff that you're going to find down in the bottom of that pit.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're gonna find toys. You're gonna find Matchbox cars buried in there. You're gonna find all kinds of stuff. You never know what you're gonna find. Now, I was watching the video, and at one point there was came across a spirit box that said 380, and I put it in the chat. I was like, 380 is a gun.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Now, 380 isn't a big gun. It's a little smaller than a 9mm, but it's bigger than a 25. And they're pretty common, actually.
Yep.
So, I mean, was there a 380 involved? I don't know. But you never know what you're going to find down there in the bottom of that pit.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid,
that's been my goal from the beginning, is just to get the police to actually go and take a look and pay attention.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder, like, aside from the whole conspiracy that the person has someone, connected with the police back then, it kind of makes you wonder why they wouldn't want it solved. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why would they want to put it on the back burner? Why would they just literally give it no attention? No attention at all. Like it wasn't my daughter, so it's okay. Like that's really how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a police officer's kid, you better believe it would have been solved by now.
Yep.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're talking about, this is the town police department that's doing the investigation, right?
Local police, yes.
Local townies that, where is the pride? Where's the pride in your work? The cold cases, the never give up attitude that that some of the larger cities have. Like, you know, we got so many cold case files, we'll never catch up, you know, kind of like the police department's already given up before they even started.
It's kind
You know
of
what
like,
I mean?
I don't get paid to care about old things.
Yeah. Kind of like that attitude about it.
It's kind of like they didn't get paid to care about even back then. It's like they didn't. You know that the family had to go there and look for clues themselves, like,
You know,
literally when it happened.
The very definition of cold case is, you know, something that's gotten old. But the police department was acting cold towards this case from the beginning.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
And I think that's the conspiracy. That's
Now, here's my question. Back then, around that time, or even now, like, do a lot of kids go missing in that area?
No, they don't. That's the thing. Every time a kid goes missing, it's on the news. It's plastered everywhere. There's
Back then, was it?
What's that?
Back then, was it?
Was it a common occurrence?
Yeah.
Not at all. Even less than today.
Well, you got to think 25 years ago. Okay, now 25 years ago, it wouldn't have got the exposure that it would have today.
We're talking about 1994, before internet, before YouTube, before Facebook.
Right. So you're you know, it's getting a lot more exposure now with the advent of social media, internet, and you know, the cold case is getting a lot more exposure than the actual case itself did back in '94.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, you know, internet was just coming about. Only rich people had like the high-end computers that you could actually go online with in '94, you know, and these were like a 3 gig computer was a big computer. Now it's like, hell, I got more RAM than that in my laptop.
I remember web TV. Web TV was like the first user-friendly internet device.
I remember like the first, and this is even before YouTube. Remember Jenny Cam? That was like one of the first cams. You could log on to the website and go to Jenny Cam, and it turned out the thing ran for like years, but the whole thing was faked. It was all like scripted, but it didn't come out until years later that Jenny Cam was a fake.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that was like one of the first cam things, like a YouTube vlog channel type thing.
Oh my gosh. Do you know that web TV was the beginning of Microsoft Online Service? That was the beginning of the MOS. It was changed from web TV to MOS. That's crazy. I just looked that up.
I don't know. I think they spent more time figuring out how to cover it up than they did giving answers.
All right, web TV came out in 1996. So 94, there wasn't even web TV. There was, like you said, unless you were a millionaire, you didn't even know what internet was.
Right. Yeah, you were still like war games. You still had the old dial-up modems and all that.
I remember when you couldn't share video because it wasn't even possible.
Yep.
It wasn't the only video were small clips that were kind of like MIDI files. They were small, maybe a couple frames of motion, and that's it. That's all you could get back then. But yeah, I mean, there was a lack of
honestly,
technology.
I think people spent more money on fax machines in 1994 to 1996 than they did on computers. Everybody had a fax machine.
Or a beeper. Everybody had pagers.
The exact year that internet came out and it was available to the public was 1991.
91.
Yep.
So you're talking about in the baby stages where nobody had it.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say I got my first internet-based computer was either I want to say 1993, and it was literally Netscape, Yahoo, ICQ, chat rooms were big. Napster was just starting to take off, and it was cool because you might be able to download one song in about 45 minutes through dial-up.
Donna has a good point. Where she's from, the FBI gets involved when a kid goes missing. Why were they never involved in this?
That's my question.
This is before the time of Amber Alerts and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, now why not go to the FBI and why not go there and be like, look, all this went on. They didn't even give it a look, let alone a second look. And they
I mean, it's a good idea. I do you know any FBI agents that I could get?
Honestly, and let me tell you something. In 1994, the FBI was still trying to recover from, the bad publicity they got from like Ruby Ridge and shit like that. So it's like, yeah, they weren't really the Uber help back then that they were now, because they had a big black eye at the time.
But I mean, right now would be a perfect time to be like, look, her family goes to the FBI and says, look, this is how old the case is. I understand that it's not a new case, but this is what happened, and give them all the proof that they have that this has been swept under the rug, and all the proof that they have of this person maybe having connections with the police department and yada, 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 and all the current stuff they're finding, and let the FBI take it from there.
Yeah, not only that, the FBI's level of technology is so far past what the local cops have. They might be able to find stuff just through forensics.
Yep.
There was something that Tammy's mother said to me. It really hit me. It really hit me right in my gut. She told me that she has been praying that somebody comes out and helps her. And when she met me, she told me about it. She said, I've been praying for somebody, and I think that somebody was you. And that kicked me right in the stomach.
But that's a good thing.
Oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's just I wish I had the bastard who did it sitting right there in handcuffs for her, No,
one of these days, somebody's going to slip up, and it's going to all come out. It's going to all come out.
Another thing is, say it was an accident. Let's say it's an accident. Okay. Say she was out with her friends, which she was supposed to be out with her friends that night. She was sleeping out of the house, and an accident happened. Most kids that I know would go running home, even though if they're not supposed to be out at that time of night, because somebody got hurt or killed, they would run home and say, oh my God, this is what happened. Not try to hide what went down. So the accident kind of, I don't know, that kind of rules out accident for me. But you never know. It could have been an accident.
Yeah, but once it goes into a cover-up type situation, it's not an accident anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
You know what I mean? It may have been an accident, but when you try to cover it up, then, it's something totally different then. It takes on a whole life of its own. And there's conspiracy.
Yep. And, well, the meaning of conspiracy means more than 5 people were involved. And
I wholeheartedly believe, and this is going off of what we've gotten off the spirit box, what, we've seen and heard from the notes and the letters and, correspondence through other people and, the stories that have been going around, I adamantly believe that there was at least 3 to 4 people that were there that night when it happened that knows what happened. And whether they're all alive now or not, I don't know, but there was at least 3 to 4 people there that know what happened. And, the 4 people that was there that know what happened, I think that somebody reached out to a relative or something in the police department and got help covering up. So now you got 5 or 6 people involved.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I definitely think that there is definitely a cover up or conspiracy behind this case. And whether or not that part of it comes out or not, I don't know. But if they can bring the truth out without uncovering the conspiracy, that's what's going to bring it out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's when they'll consider it solved. When they can solve the case without implicating themselves as the police department into the case, then it'll be solved. That's my theory on it. Now, remember, that's just a theory. That's just pure speculation. Don't take that to the bank or anything like that and try to write a check on it and get it cashed, because it's going to bounce. But, that's just my opinion. And, question everything. Form your own ideals. Take the information that's out there and make your own theory. Figure it out. That's all we can do. So.
Yeah.
Great question, Gil B. Green Bay Wacky's in house. He said, good theory. We'll be saying hi to Green Bay. Any questions out there in the chat, or any ideas out there in the chat that you want to share that maybe we could touch on?
Even ideas on, possible things that we can do to continue investigating this.
Donna Rock said, this is a closed FBI office to you, Lou. And she gives the address and phone number. Says it's open 24 hours. The phone number is to the FBI office.
All right.
In your area.
I will screenshot that, and they will be getting a phone call from me.
Put your question back up, Gail. Devon K. Raven. May we all bow our head and pray for the family to get answers. Lou, you want to lead us in a prayer?
Yes, sure. Sounds good. Please, God, guide us on the right path to finding out the truth of what happened that night. Tammy disappeared. Please help us find answers for the family. And please, if you can send the family some extra energy and love to help them get through these tough times. It's been 25 years of what I would think of as torture. Please, God, I pray that this family gets answers. Thank you, God, for giving us the life you give us. And your will isn't always so clear, but may your will be done. Amen.
Amen. Well, guys, now I know this isn't our usual episode of Question Everything, but with the latest video dropping tonight on Lou Rock's channel and getting the story out there more, I just want to kind of elaborate on the story and some of the conspiracies behind it. So we figured we'd do it on this episode of Question Everything. And I know that we haven't hit the 2-hour mark yet, but I think we're going to end it here for tonight.
Wow,
And,
we talked
let this
for
one
2
stand.
hours on this?
No, it's been just shortly. It's been about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
I remember when we started, we were like, we'll talk about it for an hour and then we'll move on to some other stuff.
Well, I mean, the case in itself is too interesting to just move on.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to just stop and then go on to a off the wall conspiracy thing where we're joking about things and laughing, because this is a serious case, and it actually has a place in my heart, and I know it's got a place in yours and Lou's.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave it its own segment on Question Everything. So
He deserves some respect.
It deserves the respect. It really does, and the family deserves the respect. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the show here and leave it with this. But we will be back next Tuesday with conspiracies and cover-ups and all kinds of like crazy stuff. Hopefully we can get a few guests up here for next week. Me and Lou's been working on some guests. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night, 10 o'clock. Guys, Lou Rock has his EVPs and stuff Monday nights. We do this show, Question Everything, on Tuesday nights. JoJo has a show on Wednesday nights called Whacked Out Wednesdays. And it's gotten even crazier over there on Whacked Out Wednesdays now. So you're definitely going to want to check that out tomorrow. Myself and Brian's Paranormal do a show called EVPs on Thursday nights at 10. And then Friday or Saturday night, Lady Swan usually goes live at some point. Actually, Friday nights, Lady Swan and JoJo Walker do WTF Friday.
Yeah. Can I say something before you end?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just noticed Gail B's comment. She says, I have 2 questions. If Tammy was pregnant, is the spirit of her baby trying to come through? Which I highly doubt. I don't know how Lou takes that. I kind of get offended by that because, like, if she was a baby herself. Okay? So I highly doubt the baby spirit is going to come through. It's literally been Tammy every time Lou has questioned the spirit box.
You know what? But I would say it's possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, what's she gonna say?
Well, at the same time, like the Bible states that an unborn child doesn't have a consciousness until a certain point.
Exactly.
I forget how far along they have to be during their pregnancy before the unborn child actually has what's considered a consciousness.
Now,
is self-aware.
Okay.
Here's another thing. Also, she wants to know if the coroner's report was released to the public. I was actually reading something just a few minutes ago that said, and I know you said, Lou, that they didn't give a reason for having a cause of death.
Yeah. No, it was determined, undetermined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I read on this news site was that they couldn't determine it because she was so decomposed.
Yeah, because the rate of decomposition, they wouldn't have been able to determine it.
Yeah. That's information that I don't have.
You got to remember this person, and I want to say person, this Tammy's body was out in the elements for 4 months.
Almost. It was 3 months.
In the summertime.
Yeah, it was almost.
Went missing in July. So the 4 hottest months of the year in that area. And of course, the heat is going to speed up the rate of decomposition. You're going to have wild animals picking at the remains. And, by the time that they actually had found the body, the rate of decomposition and the fact that the animals had gotten to it and things like that, there wasn't much left to find.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the people that had the father and son that had found the body had said, had made a statement. It looked like a Halloween
prop. Yep. They thought it was a Halloween prop until they inspected on it closer.
Yeah.
I mean, it may have been a different story if she would have went missing in the wintertime where the cold would have kept the body from decomposing so rapidly. But yeah,
Well,
Mama Rock says 3 months, 3 weeks, and 1 day, 106 days in all, of the hottest days of the year.
yeah. Well, you got to remember too, back then, even like nowadays, yeah, okay, decomposure and all that stuff, they'd still be able to find something. You know what I mean? But back then, they didn't have what we have now for technology.
And there's no proof that where they found the body is where she was actually put. She could have been dragged there by an animal or something that, you know, where they found the remains might not have been where the body was actually left either. They can't, you know, there's no proof to it.
Where she was found was a common dumping site.
Right. And again, you're with animals, you know, whether it be coyotes or just neighborhood stray dogs.
Yep.
Could literally drag the body down into a ravine or into a gully away from where it was actually where the actual murder had taken place. So there's no actual proof to know for certain that where the body was found is where she died.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I just didn't want to miss that comment. That was a trick shot. And Donna would like to know if Lou can let her know if he got the number.
Did she send it to my Facebook? I'm sure I probably did.
I don't know what she didn't say. She just said she sent it to you, so I'm assuming it's your Facebook.
So guys, if you like the content that we put out over here on Ghost Mafia's channel, don't forget, you got the super chat down there. We are viewer funded. We don't ask for donations, but anything that you guys want to throw in is always put back into the channel and everything. Definitely go over there, hit up Lou Rock. He is doing excellent work, you know, and it takes money to go out to these locations and investigate and things like that. So help him out. Let's keep this case going. Lou, if you want to drop your PayPal in there, you can.
No, it's cool. What I am going to be doing soon, though, is we are going to start up a fund for Tammy's family so they can hire a private detective.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah, and she says it right in the video. She says, my family never had money. We couldn't hire our own detectives. We had to do everything ourselves. So I figured with the resources that I have, you know, having almost 20,000 subscribers, I think that the least I could do is try to help out in any way that I can.
Absolutely.
Well, when you set that up, do me a favor, Lou. We will have a special thing on my channel for her. Make sure you have the link for it, and we'll push it over on my channel as well.
Yes,
Cool.
Absolutely.
I actually
like a GoFundMe thing, or
I need help. She doesn't know how to do it correctly, nor do I. But I told her I would ask my friends to help me. So
okay, we can definitely get you help with that.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem.
I know how to set those up in that.
We will get that in the works and start putting that out there.
Would we want to? I think we would not want. I've heard, doesn't GoFundMe take a portion of it?
If you're better off to set it up over Facebook, and I say that because Facebook doesn't take anything.
Okay, and that was the plan. We want to start a Facebook for her sister, but we don't know how.
I know how.
Okay, good.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to shout out JoJo and Lou Rock for being up here on the panel. Of course, Lou Rock being the co-host of the show, but you know, but that was an awesome video you dropped tonight, and I look for it to hit like 5K by the end of the week. Not a problem, dude. It was excellent work. Can't wait for the next one to come out. And I know I speak for everybody out there in the chat. They're just dying to see it too. And
I did see a lot of people in the chat going, I want to see part 2 now.
But like I said, take your time with it. Give it the respect that it deserves, and do it up just as well as you did the first part. And you know, I'm on board with helping you out with it. with the voiceover stuff. You know, the JoJo.
Before we get off, before we end this, I have to say, and I was starting talking about this, but I never got into it. All right, so when I first started that video, I did a voiceover myself, and it annoyed me. I was like, that isn't right. It doesn't fit. My voice is nasally. It's annoying, and I was like, what the heck am I gonna do? And then a little bell went off in my head and went, ding. You're friends with the voice guy. Why not have him do it? And dude, I'll tell you what, your voice made that video.
Oh, thank you, brother.
For sure. Up and down. Uncle Mark came when he watched it. He was like, is that your voice? I'm like, no, that's not my voice. He's like, it's freaking awesome, man. That's perfect. It sets the mood. So yes, thank you. Really awesome.
Donna said she sent it to your phone, not your Facebook.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, yes, I did get it. Yep. Thank you.
I'm actually thinking about starting to do some voiceover work. So if anybody out there needs voiceover work done on one of their videos, there you go. Hit me up.
There will be a fee.
Yeah, there'll be a fee, but not a big one.
Well, I'm still paying for mine. Jeez.
I got a voiceover job for you, Ghost. But we have to talk about that not on live.
Okay.
I've had to give Ghost Mafia like 400 kilos of dog ham.
Dog ham. Yeah, I got paid in dog ham. Ghost Mafia, will you make me an intro? Just hit me up. I'll let me know. Let me know what you want me to say. I can cheese it up. I can do it in cartoon voices if you want. It don't matter. Do Hank Hill, you know.
A voiceover intro, or do you want him to make the intro?
When you can give me a call, Lou, thanks. You did a great job. Alyssa Parrish Rock fan. When you can, give me a call, Lou. Alyssa Parrish Rock fan. There you go. I just watched your video, Lou Rock. Awesome, Francis.
I have come to the conclusion I've officially lost my mind.
Make intro. Oh, yeah, I haven't even made me an intro. I've used some of those apps on my phone to make intros. They're pretty easy to do. It's
I love making
simple. But
I love editing, which is the weird part. Editing and making intros and putting stuff together that way. But I hate filming. Figure that out. But you have to film to be able to edit.
I need voiceover. How good are you at sounding like Barry White?
You would be surprised.
Yeah, you would be surprised.
I think the only voice he can't pull off is like a female voice. It still has like a manly sound to it.
I could do the female.
Yeah, but we got auto-tune for that.
Auto-tune.
Jojo.
Yeah, that's not a woman. That sounds like a domestic robot.
Like a kid.
Come here, big fella.
Oh God. Lou sounds like a woman that's been smoking for like 40 years.
I got something in my box for you.
All right. Well, with that, before we really I want to hear it, Ghost, please. Oh.
He wants a sample.
You know what? I'm not. I don't want to do it on this because I don't want to take anything away from the Tammy story. But hit me up on my next live stream, and I will definitely do the Barry White voice for you.
We'll get him to do it tomorrow. Come over to Wacko Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be like, let's get it on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Sandra, I did Barry White. Oh, Green Bay.
Hold on.
Was that in a green room? Is this something Cab should know about?
Right?
Oh,
And
Anyway,
did not check.
all right. I'm going to end this here. Shout out to the Mod God for dropping all those links out there, Donna, and everybody that's been dropping the links. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Always awesome community. You guys all pull together and help out, and we can't love you more. So we will see you next time on Question Everything next week, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on Ghost Mafia's channel.
You there?
Good night, everybody.
Dog time.
Good night, guys. Dog hand.